Financial records and, of course, ensuring that you know how to manage money for every business owner is an important way to identify exactly if the business is doing well or is suffering. Of course, in many cases, deliberate effort must be made by the entrepreneur to sustain positive financial records and ensure that you're getting results on a day-to-day basis, in a quarter, whatever it is that you're doing. And of course, joining us this morning to talk about these issues and of course managing money, especially for business growth, is financial expert Sharif Gbadamosi. Now, he's not strange to the show. And of course, we all know that he's a financial expert. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
So let's start from the beginning. We're talking about keeping records and also ensuring that you're managing your money properly.
Absolutely.
Where do we start?
Well, if anybody is running any business, SME or personal business, individual start, you have to start where everybody starts with capital. They're always looking for capital. But once you get that capital, what do? How do you structure your business in such a way that you have a steady flow of business, as well as you give yourself the opportunities to scale up your enterprise? So when you start with your capital, you have to now look at the cost structure of your businesses. So in terms of cost structure, you're either a business that sells a product, a business that sells a service, or a business, in terms of product, it also can be manufacturing. You can produce the products yourself, or you can actually buy to sell. So if you structure your costs and make sure that everything is, which is all your factor inputs, then when you do that, you now end up with a turnover. So basically, when you get whatever it is that you're selling, you sell it, you end up with a turnover.
Okay, so so if we had, say, 10,000 naira.
Absolutely.
As the capital.
Okay.
Right, and then you invest it in the business. So everything else that comes back from that investment that you've made is your turnover.
It is your turnover. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of a markup. I wouldn't expect you to get 10,000 naira back. So let's say, for instance, you start with an investment of 10,000, you end up buying products with that, and you sell, and you make maybe 15,000. Okay, so 15,000 is your turnover, of which 5,000 is your profit. That 10,000 needs to be plowed back into a business to start again. So you always look, So the 5,000 extra is your profit, which is your margins. Now, the problem with a lot of businesses, they don't understand that this 5,000 is not to be consumed 100%. Like, for instance, when you get profits from your business, you owe taxations. Now, depending on what the origins of your startup capital is, it could be debt. Let's say you borrowed money to be able to finance this business, and the person you borrowed money from says, okay, you got to give me like 1,000 naira every month or whenever you turn over. So you got to pay that 1,000 naira back. From the profit or from the capital? You don't touch the startup capital. Because
you always plow that startup capital back into the business.
Absolutely, you always have to. So your profits, as much as you might look at it, some people make 100% profit, some people make 50% profit, and they take that 100% and say, oh, I've made money, and they start spending. No, it doesn't work that way. You still have to pay your taxes to the government. You still have to also pay back your debts, if indeed you did borrow money to start the business. But apart from that, you also have to put some money aside from that same profit to enable you to scale up your business. So you have 10,000, you make 15,000, 5,000 is your profit, you pay your taxes on that, you pay your VAT if it's a VAT-able products. Then you pay your debts, you service your debt if you have any debts. Then you take some money out of that as well to plow back into your business, so that the next time you're investing, instead of investing 10,000 and coming out with 15,000, you're investing maybe 12. So you can come up with a little bit more. So you're scaling up as you go along. And eventually you can turn that 10,000 into 50, into 100, because you're disciplined to be able to do this. Then whatever is left, after you add the extra 2,000, you can actually relax and eat that. That's your salary to yourself. So literally in any business, you got to pay yourself a salary. You can't just look at all your profits as money to be consumed.
So we're talking about ensuring that the business is running effectively. So how do I ensure that on a monthly basis, I'm keeping proper records of all these monies that are coming in? So for instance, it's a buying and selling business. So I'm probably selling on a daily basis. And so maybe I'm not keeping track of what's coming in yet. So how do I ensure that, okay, this 10,000 that I've plowed in, I'm ensuring that I'm keeping proper records of it, so that at the end of the day or at the end of the month or week or whatever, I'm seeing the exact amount that I put back in. Because sometimes you have all these incidentals that occur,
of course.
during your week and
well, normally every business has to have some accounts, right? I would start with a normal income and expenditure. The good thing about it is that these days, if you don't have software capabilities, maybe you're not on a laptop or whatever it is, you could just use a normal debit
Ledger.
and credit ledger.
Right.
Yeah. There are ledgers in the market. They sell these books and enable you to be able to say, okay, this is how much I've invested, this is how much I've spent on a daily basis. You have to make a note of every single expense, and you have to make a note of every single income that comes in from your business, so that you'll be able to track how that 10,000 has trickled through the month in terms of what have you spent it on. Have I overspent of my investment? Where did I get the extra to add to this money that ended up being overspending?
Yeah.
And how much am I getting out of it? Because that would also help you to get a clear picture of your business. Like, oh, okay, at the end of the month, when I do all my balances at the bottom, oh, I've actually spent more. So where did I get that money from? And sometimes you don't remember from one day to the next. So writing things down is essentially crucial for any
So this
business.
requires a lot of discipline, you know, especially if you're just starting out and you're not used to this kind of thing.
Absolutely. Very, very important for you to have that discipline. Some people might not be able to do this on themselves. So I suggest you find someone, maybe a friend, that understands the concept of bookkeeping. It is actual bookkeeping. Or you can get a family member, or if you do have the money and it's incorporated in your startup capital, get a professional to do it for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sheriff Gwadamezi, for joining us. There's never enough time to discuss some of these things. But if you want to, of course, get in touch with him and talk to him more about this, you can check him out on JPIN Consult on social media, you know, Twitter, Instagram, and just follow him on some of the programs and trainings that they put together.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.